Powering the future with solar energy, wind energy, and nuclear energy. Split. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode on the channel. Today we will be talking about 3 types of green energies and how it might be able to replace the whole world. So let's get started. Now, long ago, people started using this kind of stuff called carbon. And this carbon is a good thing. It was used to make fires and burn woods. But however, nowadays, we've been using carbon for a lot of other stuff, which kind of made disastrous effects. And because of these disastrous effects, we had more disastrous effects, which eventually led to the evolution of a lot of gases into the air, which creates acid rain. So, we humans decided and asked this question: are there other ways to make energies? And we did find other ways. Today we'll be talking about 3 types of green energies that we've been found out. So first of them, it is solar energy. Let's say you have a solar panel. And it's a clear sunny day. The solar panel will immediately face upward to the sun and start taking in the energy of the sun. Then eventually they will use that energy, store it up, and go all the way to power some machines. Charging station, charged up. Yes, that actually does work. But what if it's pretty dark? And how would we actually get energy? Well, there are different ways to get energy. Wind power. You know how powerful winds can be, right? Well, the possible winds can be pretty fast. And because of these fast winds, we have found ways to make stuff with them. You know what a fan looks like, right? It looks like this. And inside there are a few propellers inside them. And if wind goes through the propellers, then it makes the turbine turn. This one is turned by electricity. It's turned by electricity, not by wind. It's the one who's creating the wind. Well, if we had another turbine, we could have used the strong wind to make that other turbine turn to make electricity. Let me explain this. Once this generator turns, it will start creating energy in a generator, which will eventually lead to the creation of a lot of machines. Charging station, charged up. Yes, it can be wind-powered charging stations. But however, there are some types of uncommonalities with these. There's some flaws with these. Let's say it's in a really strong wind. Then what would you actually do? It will be shaking and there will be excess power. Well, the company creating that excess power would usually just sell the excess power to the government. But usually they just use it for their own good sometimes. And now, what about the third type? Well, that is atomic energy. Now, let's say this is actually a molecule. This is a model of a molecule, but let's say this is an atom itself, even though it's a molecule. And how nuclear energy works is by splitting the atom into neutrons and electrons. Let's say the red balls are the neutrons, while the black balls are the protons. This is how it works. They break off all the electrons out. They break off all the electrons out of the molecule into different parts. And eventually, once they have all these out of the way, when they have all these out of the way, they start creating this kind of energy, which is pretty massively explosive. Once they have enough of these electrons off, it starts exploding into different energies, which has later went to the creation of the nuclear bomb itself, which has later been used in World War II to make the Allies win the war. That's cool and all, but how can we use this nuclear energy to power stuff when it's a bit dangerous? Well, we haven't figured out that part yet. I didn't say here that we're gonna use the nuclear energy to power stuff. We just don't know yet how to use it. But there is a cool thing though. Once the electrons and the neutrons and protons are all off, theoretically you can start actually rebuilding the electrons and neutrons and protons. In theory, nobody knows if this is possible yet because nobody ever tried it. But however, in theory, it is possible to do it. Everything might be possible to us, even though it might really be impossible. And once we find out more about this nuclear energy stuff, we'll be starting to use some charging stations with it. This is where I would really love to end this episode, but I have a few last words to make. Which of these energies I've told you now is the best one? The short answer is no. The long answer is none of these energies are the best. Each of them are equal in power. You might make solar energy an amount of the same energy you used to do with coal energy, but it doesn't mean that solar energy is better than the coal energy. That answer is for you to make. If you have any opinions to the answer of this question I just asked, then please write them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next episode. Shunhan out. Peace.